Howdy friends, welcome to episode number 33 of Let's Play Pokemon Heartgold. So last time I had told you we were going to capture Ho-Oh and fight the Kimono girls in this episode. However, after I stopped recording it occurred to me, wait a minute, I think you catch Ho-Oh at level 40. And if I remember correctly, the Kimono girls Pokemon are at level like 37 or 38. Something pretty high compared to where we are in the game right now. So I did a quick Google search to see when do you get Ho-Oh in the game, and it turns out it is actually after the 8th badge, which also makes sense because that's when you get the Master Ball. And right now we don't have the Master Ball, so usually in games you don't actually get to capture the main legendary Pokemon until you already have your Master Ball, in case you don't want to bother with putting it to sleep and weakening it and going for a bunch of Dust Balls or Ultra Balls or whatever. You can just use the Master Ball and be done with it. Take the easy way out, which I almost never do. I like to save the Master Ball for shinies just in case. I actually used one once. I did find a shiny Graveler once, and I was so afraid it would self-destruct, I just used my Master Ball, because why not? Anyway, so what we're going to do instead today is head east of Mahogany Town and make our way through Ice Path to Blackthorn City, home of the 8th gym. That should also be a lot of fun, and I am excited to get started. Rage Candy Bar, you want to buy another? I think one is enough for you. Well, that's rude. Alright, so I do have Sandshrew with us because I think we might need some HMs to get through Ice Tunnel. We don't really need Gyarados right now because... sorry, I'm still getting used to all my Pokemon's nicknames and I don't see them on the screen like you guys do. Because Leah knows Surf, and I don't think we'll need Waterfall or Whirlpool because it is Ice Path, not Water Path. And I would think if there was a Whirlpool or a Waterfall in there, it'd be Frozen Solid, which would be cool, but probably wouldn't make it traversable by either of the HM moves. So Natu, even though we are 4 times weak to Flying and 2 times weak to Psychic, we also have moves that are super effective against him. Let's go for Shadow Claw, higher base power and more likely to hit. Very nice. I think Shadow Claw is also a move with an increased critical chance. So that's nice. Kadabra. Kadabra is also good against us, but we are good against it. The question is, will it be faster? My guess is yes. Kadabra is pretty fast. And it uses Reflect. Okay, interesting. Not the worst move for it to use. Wow, we defeated it through a Reflect. That's really surprising. Because that meant essentially Shadow Claw was not super effective for all intents and purposes, and it still managed to one-shot. Kadabra just has such a low defense stat. Alright, 1 battle down. Probably a lot to go. Max Repel, I can definitely use that. I don't think there's anything across this water. I'm just going to try to, I'm going to try to look for islands or things. Fisherman, we'll fight him. I fish until I can't anymore. I also battle until I drop. That's my relationship with my Pokemon. You know, I can actually really relate to this fisherman because I am really tired. It's after 2 o'clock in the morning. And I really want to get to sleep. But I figured, you know what? I'm on a roll. Let's do one more episode. And I will sleep for as long as I want to because today is Saturday. Alright, so let's see. Last time we were talking about my favorite Pokemon. Always a good subject. And I asked you guys what your favorites were. Hopefully you listed them. If you didn't, here's your other chance. But I do want to just mention real quick my other top 5 favorites. And again, these might not be like... If I thought about it some more, I might have different favorites, or they might be in a slightly different order. But just off the top of my head, well, not quite the top of my head, I guess. I did think about them between episodes, but only for like a minute or so. So, just to recap, the 10 through 6 were Volcarona at 10, then Latios, Gyarados, Blastoise, and Garchomp at number 6. Number 5 is Arcanine, who I mentioned a couple episodes ago. It doesn't have as good of a moveset as some of the other Pokemon, but it does have a fairly good moveset. It can learn like Flamethrower, Flare Blitz, so you could set it up to be either a physical attacker or a special attacker. I know I had one Arcanine once, I think it was in a Leaf Green game, that knew like Extreme Speed, which is an amazing move, one of my favorite moves. It knew Flare Blitz, although Flare Blitz is a... No, it didn't know Flare Blitz. It knew Iron Tail and Sunny Day, I think. And then Overheat. So not really the best actual... I'm a little afraid of Static, but let's go for it. Not really the best combination, because Sunny Day and Overheat don't really play well together. But the general idea was use Overheat once, and then if it lowers my special attack, I still have some physical attacks to do damage. A better moveset, now that Gen 4 is here and beyond, would be like Flare Blitz, Sunny Day, Overheat, and Extreme Speed. I think at the time I called it Iron Tail just because it was one of the few like coverage moves Arcanine could learn. It might be able to learn Dragon Pulse, now that Dragon Pulse is a TM. I would think it can, but I'm only like 60% sure. So Blossom, that's the first time we've seen a Blossom. It's one of those Sunstone Pokemon, evolves from Gloom. And we are paralyzed, that's rather unfortunate. I probably shouldn't have used Brick Break there. I should have used Aerial Ace, I just really wasn't thinking. That probably would have been a one-shot. Oh well, sorry Rod. This is what happens when I try to multitask and I'm really tired. So yeah, Arcanine though is got high stats, it's got access to Extreme Speed, which is like Quick Attack, but has double the power. Very few Pokemon can learn it. Dragonite can through an event, which will actually do a little bit later on. You couldn't get one in Gen 3, you could get one in Gen 2, and oh, I'm getting tired, my voice is cracking. Or I've just been talking a lot today, probably a little bit of both. You couldn't get it in Gen 3, which is kind of disappointing because it would have been a good move in Gen 3. But you could once again get it, you couldn't even get it in Gen 4, because that's when I did competitive battling. I couldn't have it because it just wasn't available. It wasn't until Heartgold and Soul Silver came out that you could once again get an Extreme Speed Dratini. And a nice thing about it is that it also counts as a egg move. So if you get the event, and it's an in-game event, not like a real world event. If you get the in-game event Dratini and use it to breed, you can get a better Dratini that also still knows Extreme Speed. Not only is Extreme Speed twice as good as Quick Attack, it also, as of Gen 4 I think and beyond, or maybe it's Gen 5, is a +2 priority move, so it's even more priority than Quick Attack. So if you use Extreme Speed and your opponent is faster and uses Quick Attack, you will still go first, which is pretty cool. If it wasn't for this paralysis, we'd be doing really well right now, but I think that might, yeah, it's going to be the end of Rod. Sorry, Rod. Oh, or not. Okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and switch out Rod, because I do want to use some healing items. I don't want to use a Revive. Let's bring in Kroot. There really isn't much Magnemite can do to a Pupitar. And Spark does not affect him at all. Very nice. We will go for the Dig, which is 4 times super effective. Plus Stab should be a one-shot many times over. Alright, so enough about Arcanine. Number 4 is Melodic. Always liked Melodic. It's similar to Gyarados in a lot of ways, but whereas Gyarados is more of an attacker and it's more physically oriented, Melodic is more of a defensive Pokemon, but still has actually a pretty decent special attack stat for a defensive Pokemon. Also has a pretty decent speed stat. I think it's base speed 80, same as Gyarados and Dragonite, for example, and Togekiss. So not too shabby at all. Once again, dead ends tend to contain items. Okay, let's use, speaking of items, let's use something on Heracross here. Should we use fresh water or Moo Moo Milk? Let's use Moo Moo Milk, because that will heal 100 HP, which is just enough. And we'll use one of our cherry berries to get rid of the paralysis as well. And then Rod will be pretty much as good as new. Alright, all better. How you feeling, Rod? He's holding... what is he holding? Kinda wish they didn't add this fashion thing. Oh, it's too important to let go. Oh, okay, Rod, you can keep it. Because it takes away from some of the more interesting reactions. Ultra Ball, I will take that. Might be able to use it when we do eventually get to Ho-Oh. This must be a super nerd, since he wants to get rare Pokemon. They all want rare Pokemon, but very few of them have any, if any. Maybe a Slowking is kind of rare, but that's about as rare as they'll get. Melodic is one of my favorite Gen 3 Pokemon, and one of my favorites of all time, because it's just got nice solid stats, it's got a good move pool, it can learn like Surf, Ice Attacks, Dragon, Pulse, Recover. Others I'm sure that I'm not thinking of. Mirror Coat is really good. I think it can learn, I don't know if it can learn Counter as well or just Mirror Coat. But there are quite a few powerful trainers in Generation 3 and 4 that have Melodics, and they can be very formidable foes. They also are Water type, which is a great type, both offensively and defensively, since it's only weak to Grass and Electric. So that's number 4. Number 3 is also a Gen 3 Pokemon, Metagross, the pseudo-legendary, or one of the pseudo-legendaries. Being Steel and Psychic is a great typing. Throughout Generation 3 through 5, it was only weak to Ground and Fire, whereas it resisted like the vast majority of types in the game. Nowadays it's weak to Ghost and Dark as well due to the Gen 6 changes. Still no longer resists those two types, so that actually made Metagross a lot more balanced. And it did get a Mega Evolution, so at the same time it got a nerf, but it also got a huge buff. And Mega Metagross is cool. Actually, I don't know, it's a cool design, I guess, but I think I like the classic Metagross a little bit more. But yeah, Metagross is very powerful and knows great attacks, and just all around a good Pokemon. It is only base speed 70. I think you can teach it Rock Polish to double its speed, but that's kind of that weird mid-speed tier where it's like, if it was like Tyranitar, which is super slow, or not super slow, base 61, then it's definitely worth using Rock Polish or Agility on. Whereas Metagross is like that middle speed tier where it's more suited for like a Choice Scarf, or it was until it got its Mega Evolution. Alright, what's up, Todd? Good evening, Joe. It's me, Todd. You must be a lot better now, huh? How about showing me your technique? Route 34. Don't know which one that is, although I've done so much Googling of these routes. I should probably know that by now. Alright, nothing this way. I always like when routes are kind of circular and you have a bit of a choice. Like this one is. Looks like a Bird Keeper. Let's switch out Rod because he is not really ideal to go against a Bird Keeper. Do you know about the legendary bird Pokemon? I have heard of them. We actually, did we catch all 3 of them in the first game? I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure I did in my Let's Play Red game. I know I at least encountered them, and I'm like 95% sure I actually caught them. Alright, against a Hoot Hoot, a Rock Slide should take it out with no problem at all. So that's Metagross coming in at number 3. Number 2 is our very own Togetic. It's a cute Pokemon, and it's really, really powerful. It has an amazing ability, which is not just powerful, but fun. Togekiss has an amazing move pool, which is only made better by its ability. It has so many moves it can learn that have their effects doubled. Psychic, Shadow Ball, Extrasensory, Ancient Power, Flamethrower, Fire Blast. I think it can learn like Charge Beam or Shockwave. Shockwave doesn't have an effect that can be doubled. And most importantly, Air Slash. It also learns Aura Sphere, which is not a move that really affects or is affected by its ability, but it's still a great move. And actually, Togekiss is one of the Pokemon that can learn Extreme Speed, but I wouldn't recommend teaching it one because it has a very low attack stat, only 50. Definitely not very good for a fully evolved Pokemon. Let's fight a few Pokemon in Ice Path because I think there'll be things we haven't seen before. There was, as I think I've mentioned, a kind of niche set in the olden days where you could actually get a Togekiss with Hustle and try to pretend it's a special attacker and then take your opponent off guard by using physical attacks, but it was a little gimmicky and hard to pull off. Not sure I tried it. I've seen it done well, but it's more miss than hit. And even when it hits, the hits aren't really that hard. I think you probably need to give it Choice Band to really have any kind of punch at all. So who else gains extreme speed? Arcanine, Dragonite by event, Lucario can. There's probably one or two others. I feel like there's Arceus can, or Arceus, whatever it's called. But yeah, that's probably about it. I know I'm missing somebody, at least one somebody. There might be a few new Pokemon that can that I can't remember, but definitely not too many Pokemon, which I like. It should be a rare and powerful move for only those special ones. And Lucario is pretty cool too. The only reason I'm not listing Lucario is because, oh, hey Cameron, must be cold in here. Sure, we'll take a picture. The only thing I really don't like about Lucario is, I guess, its defenses, but also the fact that everybody else loves Lucario. I tend not to like Pokemon that are like everybody's favorites, like Lucario or Charizard. I don't know who else is a favorite. Blaziken, Greninja, like they're all cool Pokemon. I like them a lot, don't get me wrong. And I would definitely train them, and I might train some of those in future Let's Plays, but they're not like top of my list just because they're a little like, everybody likes them, so I'd rather kind of choose Pokemon that's not as universally loved. And then number 1, I think I mentioned it before, Dragonite all the way. He's like everything I hope to have in a Pokemon that I train. He's got super high stats and a really nice balance in that high attack stat. I guess speed could be a little better. But, ooh, puzzle time, yay. I like puzzles. I'm not always good at them, though, depending on what puzzles there are. There's some puzzles I'm really good at and some I'm not. Okay, so let's play this by being smart. The best way to do these ice puzzles is kind of to reverse engineer them. You see where you have to go, and then you see, okay, how do I get to a position where I can go there? And there's really only one way to do it. It'd be getting to the north side of that rock that's just to my left now. Actually, I could use my cursor for good for once. This rock. Benefits of having a capture card. So, how do I get to that rock? The answer is I don't. So what am I missing? Okay, I could also get to the bottom of this rock. How do I do that, though? Or I'm sorry, I meant the top of that rock, not the bottom. Okay. I'm sure this is incredibly obvious, and I'm just missing it. How else can I do this? Because there's nothing around the perimeter. That makes it hard. Maybe we should front engineer it then. I can only go to there from there, I can only go to there from there. I don't want to go to the perimeter, I'm pretty positive, because if I go anywhere there, there's nothing that really gets me to any of the center ones again. I think the only way to get to the center ones is the way I just started with. So from here I can only go here. Now I have 2 choices. Maybe I do this. But even I can go to that right rock, but then I get stuck at the north. I know there's a solution, I just cannot find it. Alright, let's restart. The one nice thing about these ice puzzles is there's no wild Pokemon on them. That would be the most frustrating thing ever. We would burn through so many repels. Oh. Ah, that rock does it. Okay, tricky, tricky. I knew we'd get it eventually. Is that Cameron again? Oh, okay. Little mini puzzle here. This one's not too difficult though. Also, as for riding a bicycle on ice, fine in-game. Don't recommend it outside the game. Oh, HM Waterfall. You don't find many HMs just lying around. We don't have Gyarados with us yet, and we can't use it outside of battle until we have the 8th gym badge. I'm pretty sure. The rock climb actually comes from one of the Kanto gym badges, so we'll get that much later on. But it might be nice for like Gyarados to learn Waterfall. Actually, it definitely would be. So we don't have him with us, but just as an attacking move, it'd be nice. Yeah, so Dragonite has a great attack stat. Even though its speed is kind of middling, it can learn Dragon Dance, which is an awesome move for Dragonite, which increases its speed to a much better level, allowing it to outspeed most Pokemon that aren't also boosted, and boosting its already good attack even further. It has a great move pool. It can learn a lot of really great physical attacks and also a lot of great special attacks. You could easily make a very powerful, very fun special attacking Dragonite. The only reason I'm not even more inclined to do that is because it seems like such a waste when you have like 134 attack stat and only like 100, I think it's 100 special attack. The item you picked up over there, it was an HM, wasn't it? I am the one who dropped it, but I want you to keep it. You took the time to get it, right? It contains waterfall. Have fun climbing waterfalls. Me? I need a pair of shoes before I can enjoy waterfalls. Probably a joke or a reference in there somewhere. So I think waterfall is optional. Well, actually, no, it's not. I'm pretty sure you need it to get to the Pokemon League. So don't miss that if you come here. Don't think, oh, it's just an item. I can ignore that and skip the ice puzzle. You definitely want to get this while you're here. Otherwise, you'll be coming back. And I think we're fighting our first Pokemon in here. It's a Swinoob. Just like the one we fought against Price. So let's run away and switch back Heracross because a rock type is not good against an ice and ground type like Swinoob, and we'll probably be encountering quite a number of them. I would bring out Cian, but he's already our highest level Pokemon, so I'm going to give him a rest for a while. One Dragonite set I've always wanted to try, mostly in-game, is, oh, Jinx, didn't know you could find Jinx here, is, a set based around Rain Dance. You can either have Dragonite on a Rain Dance team, or just teach it Rain Dance, and maybe give it a Damp Rock. And I'd love to teach it Thunder, Surf, and Hurricane, because all three of those moves are benefited. Let's use Shadow Claw. All three of these attacks, actually, Brick Break is not super effective, because it's good against Ice, bad against Psychic. Rock Tomb and Shadow Claw are, and Shadow Claw is more powerful, so we're going to go for it. Surf gets a damage boost from the rain, and then Thunder and Hurricane are super effective. And I think that type has pretty good coverage. Probably not perfect coverage, but like I can't, off the top of my head, think of any Pokemon that would resist it. What about, because most Steel types do not resist water, and any that did would be like Empoleon, who's weak to Electric. And Flying's not a bad attacking type, plus it gets stabbed. That'd be Dragonite's main attack, no Dragon type attacks. Just wouldn't have the room for it. Although maybe if you had like a Kyogre or a Politoed on your team, depending on the mode, you could use like Draco Meteor, or Dragon Pulse, or something like that. Let's risk a Rock Tomb, get some XP. We might need a little bit of experience before we face the last gym leader. And that's going to be, I think, a really exciting battle, but also a very scary one. So I do want to make sure our team is ready, and we have a lot of Pokemon to train. But yeah, Dragonite is much more formidable than its sort of childlike appearance would suggest. It's also kind of like, I really liked dragons when I was growing up. I do now too as well. I guess now I like more like fantasy dragons, like ones you'd see in I don't know, Game of Thrones. I guess I actually don't watch Game of Thrones because I'm waiting until it's all out, then I'm gonna watch it all the way through. But what's another good fantasy movie that has dragons in it? I'm sure there's something. Alright, so it looks like we need to use strength to knock these boulders down to do the puzzles on the lower floors. Alright, but when I was little, what I was going for was, I used to like, obviously, cartoon dragons, like the song Puff the Magic Dragon I really liked, and the movie Pete's Dragon was one of my favorites. So Dragonite kind of is more like that type of dragon. It's like a friendly dragon companion that saves people from storms and also happens to be a very, very formidable Pokemon. So Endure is just going to waste our power points. Luckily, if you use it more than once in a row, it will likely fail. And Dragonite can also learn Extreme Speed, which we mentioned before. A lot of Pokemon on my list can. Apparently 3 of them can. What does Irwin want? I heard about your liberation of Radio Tower. You rock. Okay, thank you, Irwin. Wish people did that in real life. Just call you to say, like, you rock. Speaking of rocks, let's go ahead and do some of these puzzles here. So, okay. I do need to use strength, and luckily Sandshrew knows strength. This one we can't push in from the side, but we can push it up and then go around. And then hit it from the other side. So let's do that. So, if you guys watched, I guess the one kind of special Dragonite I did train was in Generation 1. Back when Dragonite can't learn a lot of physical moves. It did know Hyper Beam to take advantage of its 134 attack, but its other moves were all a nice diverse set of special attacks. Careful here. It's tempting to push this too far, but if you do, you can't push it down to the pole. Oh, okay. I see what you have to do. I'm mistaken. You do want to... I was about to say I should push this south, but I was not thinking all the way through. You actually want to keep going and then go... How did you do this? It's hard to tell where these boulders actually lie, like on the grid. Can I go south of this hole without falling through? Okay, I can. So in that case, I know what to do. And now I push down and then go right. Must be hard making all these puzzles. Fun, but challenging. Definitely would take some time, I would think. and we have a battle. As for more typical Dragonite movesets, Outrage and Dragon Dance are always staples. Roost is a good recovery move. You can learn Earthquake or Superpower or a fire attack like Fire Punch or Flamethrower for coverage. Thunder Punch used to be good coverage too because most of Dragonite's counters weren't necessarily steel types, but were more bulky water types like Melodic or there were a lot of Suicune, Vaporeon. There were a lot of bulky water types that were getting a lot of play in Gen 4. So you might take Thunder Punch for them, or even both Thunder Punch and Fire Punch. Or you'd have like a Fire type waiting in the wings to take care of any Steel types. I think my Dragonite that I ended up using in my competitive team, my Gen 4 team was a Dragon Dancer. Pretty standard moveset. Although I might have known Dragon Dance and Extreme Speed, which is kind of unusual because they kind of run at odds, but it's also nice to be able to use an Outrage, and if you don't finish something, you could take a hit and then finish it off with Extreme Speed. So this boulder goes to the north pit. Don't be misled here. And the other one goes to the south one. And I think you need these to get through, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. Some of them might just be for items, but I think you do need to do at least one of them to get through. So the Dragonites that I used in my competitive battles for Gen 6, which I did record, was a Choice Band Dragonite, which was actually really good because it synergizes really well with all of its moves. Extreme Speed makes you go first, which completely negates the need to really put a lot of points into speed, or to give it a timid nature, or a Choice Scarf, or to Dragon Dance, because Extreme Speed pretty much always goes first, and it's a pretty solid move. 80 base power is pretty good from a big attack stat, especially when it's Choice Banded, even though it does not get stabbed from Dragonite. Can I get around this boulder? Yeah, I can. Alright, very nice. One more. So Choice Band Extreme Speed is good. Choice Band Outrage is also good, because you're locked into Outrage anyway, so why not be locked into it and doing more damage? And then when it's over, you want to switch, and when you switch, you reset your Choice Band. So all around, it was really effective too. Extreme Speed was really nice for a late game sweep, or just to finish off Pokemon that had gotten a stat boost off or a speed boost and were trying to sweep my team. I could let it KO something, bring in Dragonite, and finish them off. I don't think it was something that my opponents really expected that much. And it was just a really hard-hitting, really effective Pokemon. And then I think he knew, I don't even remember his other two moves, probably like Fire Punch and Earthquake for coverage, some kind of coverage moves. But yeah, that was a really good set, and I'm definitely looking forward to trying to spruce up those competitive battling videos and upload some of them. In fact, by the time you see this, I might have already done it. Or maybe not. Take a look at the channel and see. A little part of me wants to get back into competitive battling, but I just don't really like the current metagame. And I'm sure I could find like a what's it called, Shoddy Battle or whatever the server is, tier for like old Gen 4 battles or Gen 6 battles, but those usually aren't as popular. And I imagine therefore the videos probably wouldn't be as popular as well. I also just don't have the time right now. There's so much I need to be doing. I barely have time to make this Let's Play. And I'm probably playing it a little more than I should be, but hey, it's my holiday break. I'm going to play what I want to. Alright, there are still like one or two Pokemon I wanted to find here that we haven't seen yet. There's Swinoob, there's two more ice types that I think you can only find here, and I can only think of one of them. Maybe Jinx was the other one? Oh, okay, I know who they are. Well, they're not really a big reveal, so I'm just going to say it. Delibird and Sneasel, I'm pretty sure can only be found here. So if you want a Sneasel of your own, just like your rival, this is the place to do it. I wouldn't recommend it if you're playing the base Gold or Silver, because Sneasel just isn't that good. It's another one of those Pokemon that everybody, or a lot of people like, that I just, not the world's biggest fan of. It doesn't have good enough attacks, and it's too fragile. It also has a lot of weaknesses, including a double weakness to fighting. There we go. So Sneasel itself is cool looking. It's a nice Pokemon design, I'll give it that. But it just isn't really that good in Gold and Silver. If you evolve into Weevil, then sure, it's pretty good. Even though it doesn't know great moves, it's still more than good enough to do well in a normal playthrough. So I'd love to see one of them, and it'd be nice to see a Delibird as well, just because Plus, it's the holidays right now. I know for you guys, holidays are probably long over. But for me, Christmas is in 3 days now. Yesterday was the solstice and tomorrow is Festivus, so it's all kinds of holidays. Today's like the one non-holiday day. There should be a name for the 22nd. I'm sure it's some unknown holiday, like Donut Day or something like that. Critical hit, but it managed to endure it. Oh, that's funny. All right, you know what? I'm gonna use a repel after this because kind of tired of facing Swinoob. Would have been nice to see a Delibird. There's tons of Delibird around in Pokemon Go right now, which is pretty cool. And lots of Swinoob actually as well. Ice Pokemon in general. Swinoob is actually really good. I would definitely be open to training one of those. In fact, actually Mamoswine, its final stage, was something I considered very strongly as an addition to our team, either now or in Gen 4. I did end up going with it, but I came very close. It's a surprisingly fast Pokemon. I always thought it was really slow, but it's not. It's base speed of 80. Just like all the other Pokemon we mentioned. Where are my repels? There we go. And it has a huge attack stat. It can learn pretty good moves, I think. I don't know if it knows good. It might know like Icicle Crash. That's the one trouble with Mamoswine. There's not like a really good ice physical move. It can learn Earthquake, obviously, for stab ground type attacks, and it learns like Stone Edge and some other good coverage moves. Alright, so I think we still have a little ways to go in. Well, you know what? Maybe we don't. Maybe now that we have these boulders here, this might not be too hard. I would like to get those items though. I guess it's just one item. Okay. So what I need to figure out is how to get to that one item, and then we'll go to the ladder. In fact, I hope it's not one of those things where you can only get to the item if you haven't used the strength boulders yet. So the item is there, which means I need to get... So how many steps is that below me? Is maybe that little area in front of the rock on the bottom right there is where I need to go? So in that case, I need to go to the top crystal over there. So maybe if I get to the island and then leave the island, that seems to be the way to do it. And I'm guessing you need all 4 of these boulders, so it's probably, yeah, it's actually really simple. Alright, so we'll grab this item. I wonder if one of these is the Never Melt Ice, which powers up ice type attacks. We probably won't use that, but I think this may be it. If this isn't it, I think it's in here somewhere. Oh, is this not? Oh, that's misleading. So where do I need to go then? Oh, I see it. I need to go to the one to my right there. Alright, well, let's... I'm in totally the wrong position here. Back where we started. Okay, it's kind of hard to get back to the start in this one. There we go. Okay. So, I did that. Now, once again, we're going to go to the boulder. I'm glad that our ice skating does not consume repel steps either. So I need to go up over here. This had better be either a good TM or the Never Melt Ice. Just a max potion. Well, that might come in handy at some point, but not as handy as I was hoping. Once again, we need to find our way back to the main area. How did I do that? With this? Yeah, there we go. Alright, and then one more time we should be, I think, done with Ice Path. I thought there were more trainers in here, but maybe there are. Luckily we brought Sandshrew, because we can use Rock Smash. Get this item as well. And found a red shard, good. I don't remember if any of the moves I want to teach my Pokemon are move tutor moves or not. There's the Never Melt Ice. All you need is Rock Smash. Or going over this stairway. Okay, so it's actually really easy to get. That was just a shortcut. You'd think that would be the max potion and the Never Melt Ice would be the one that's actually a challenge. Okay, looks like we have one more puzzle here. At least one more puzzle. Alright, you know what? In that case, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. And when we come back, we will make our way to the exit of the cave, and then maybe, just maybe, face the gym leader as well. So that's going to be tomorrow, though, because I need to sleep. So As always, thank you guys very much for watching. There's still plenty more Heartgold yet to come, and I will see you all in episode number 34.